You think you're safe, don't you? You look in the mirror at 60 and see a person who's finally made it. The kids are out, the mortgage is thinning, and you think you have decades stretching out ahead of you like a calm, endless ocean. But I am 91 years old. I have lived through the shadows of the Great Depression and the neon lights of the digital age. And I am here to tell you, 60 is not a beginning. It is the final flickering hour of your life's summer. After this, the sun sets faster than you can imagine. I spent 35 years as an ICU nurse. I have held the hands of the dying as they took their final breath. Do you know what they talk about? It's never the promotions. It's the ghosts of the things they never did. Today I'm giving you 10 lessons that will cut through your comfort like a surgeon's knife. Listen, because I am the voice of your future, and I am telling you to wake up. Lesson 1. Your body is a house you've lived in for 60 years, but it's about to start evicting you. At 60, I felt invincible. I walked miles, I carried heavy groceries, I danced at weddings. I thought this strength was my birthright. But aging is a silent thief. It doesn't break the door down, it slowly unscrews the hinges. By 68, my knees began to scream every time I touched the stairs. By 75, the garden I loved became a battlefield I could no longer fight in. Here is the cold truth. The muscle you don't build now is a brick you'll miss when your house starts to crumble in your 80s. If you don't fight for your strength today, you will spend your 90s trapped in a body that feels like a prison. Your independence isn't in your wallet, it's in your legs. Build your fortress now, while the cement is still wet. Lesson 2. I once belonged to a world of laughter. We were the Friday night girls. For 40 years, Mary, Helen, Rose, and I were inseparable. We shared the secrets of our marriages, the terror of our children's fevers, and the joy of our first grey hairs. We thought we were an island that no tide could wash away. But old age is a brutal game of subtraction. Mary was the first. Cancer took her at 72. Then Helen's mind began to wander, until she looked at me and saw a stranger. Rose held on until last winter, then left me here as the sole guardian of our memories. Now I sit at this table and hear the echoes of their voices, but the silence that follows is deafening. My warning? At 60, don't stop meeting people. Befriend the young. If you only love those your own age, you will eventually find yourself at a table for one, with no one left who remembers the girl you used to be. Lesson 3. My greatest regret is a conversation I never had. In our 60s, Edward and I were happy. I'd bring up the will, the what-ifs, the end. He'd kiss my forehead and say, "Eleanor, let's not ruin a perfect day with such dark thoughts." We chose the comfort of silence over the clarity of truth. Then, on a day that started like any other, Edward's heart simply stopped. I was left not just with a broken heart, but with a mountain of legal chaos. Our children, who had always been close, turned into vultures, fighting over things Edward would have laughed at. Because we didn't have the courage to talk about death, we left behind a legacy of resentment. Don't do that to your family. Clarity is the final act of love. Talk about the end now, so they can grieve in peace later. Lesson 4. I wasn't just Eleanor, I was the nurse. For 35 years, my uniform was my skin. It gave me a reason to stand tall. But the day I retired at 67, I felt like a ghost. I'd go to the grocery store and realize that to the world, I was just another invisible old woman blocking the aisle. I fell into a pit of darkness for 3 years because I had no title. I had spent 60 years building a career, but 0 years building a soul. At 60, you must start asking, who am I when the paycheck stops? If your ego is tied to your office, you are heading for a cliff. Find a passion, painting, volunteering, even just learning to sit with yourself that doesn't require a badge. Because the day you leave that office, you need to have a person waiting for you at home. Lesson 5. Edward was a man of later. We had a later list: the trip to the Amalfi Coast, the cabin in the woods, the long drives with no destination. We waited until the perfect time. That Tuesday he went to the store for a simple wrench to fix a leaky sink. He died right there, in aisle 4, surrounded by copper pipes and cold concrete. We never saw Italy. Those brochures I saved at 60 are still in a drawer, yellowed and bitter. The window of being able is much smaller than the window of being alive. You might live to 90, but will you be able to walk the cobblestones of Rome? Do it at 60. Take the risk. Spend the money. Later is a graveyard where all dreams go to rot. Lesson 6. My sister Martha and I wasted 10 years of our lives over a stupid silver teapot. We both wanted it when Mother died. I was 65, stubborn and convinced that right was more important than sister. We stopped calling. We missed 10 Christmases, 10 birthdays, 10 years of sharing life. Martha died last year. The teapot is sitting in my kitchen right now, and every time I look at it, it feels like it's made of lead. I would melt it down in a heartbeat just to hear her voice call me Ellie one more time. At 60, you think you have time to settle the score. You don't. Pride is a cold bedfellow in old age. If you're holding a grudge, pick up the phone. Forgive them, not because they deserve it, but because your soul can't afford the weight of hate anymore. Lesson 7. I was a fixer. I spent my 60s telling my adult children how to live, how to parent, how to save. I thought I was being a lighthouse, but I was actually a storm. I pushed my son away for 5 years because I wouldn't stop giving him advice he didn't ask for. It took me until my 70s to realize that my children didn't need my wisdom, they needed my warmth. They wanted a mother who would listen to their struggles without trying to solve them like a math problem. At 60, you must learn to retire from being the manager of your children's lives. Let them fail. Let them learn. Just be the person who has a hot meal and an open heart waiting for them. That is how you keep them close. Lesson 8. Your memory is a library, but the roof is leaking. Every day, a few more pages get soaked and unreadable. I can't remember my grandson's wedding clearly, but I remember the smell of my father's tobacco from 1940. It's terrifying to feel your life slipping through your fingers. Right, everything. The way the light hit your first kitchen, the smell of your husband's neck. The biggest mistake you ever made. Your grandchildren won't care about your bank balance, but they will starve for your stories. I started my journal at 75, but so many beautiful days are already lost to the mist. Start at 60, capture the diamonds before they turn to dust. Lesson 9. Everyone is terrified of the dark. We fear the loss of our minds, the loss of our dignity, the final silence. I won't lie to you, it's hard. But there is a strange, beautiful courage that comes with being 91. You realize that you've survived everything life threw at you. Don't spend your 60s hiding from the thought of being old. Face it, prepare for it, and then live with a ferocity you never had in your 20s. Being old is not a defeat, it is a victory of survival. Walk into the sunset with your head held high, knowing you didn't leave a single drop of life in the glass. Lesson 10. Here is the secret they don't tell you. The years from 60 to 90 go 10 times faster than the years from 1 to 30. It feels like I blinked at my 60th birthday party and woke up here, in this chair, 91 and alone. The world is noisy and you're busy, I know, but look at me. Edward is gone. The Friday night girls are gone. My career is a memory. All that remains is the love I gave and the moments I was truly present for. Don't wait. Don't say next year. The clock is ticking louder than you think. Tell them you love them. Go on the trip. Forgive the sister. Because later is the biggest lie ever told to the human heart. And finally, remember, life is what happens while you are busy making plans. It passes by through your forgotten smiles.